now.
How did this fly get in there? Somebody got a fly swatter?
Yeehaw!
It was a shot of Prairie Jesus is really what it was.
It was.
You'd think we would be getting used to it, but we never get used to it. We never get tired of good things happening.
This life doesn't get old.
No.
Tristan's first
It was a
comment.
nice little distraction from the real world, and here we are today for a coffee session.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new week. I'm ringing the bell because it's Monday, waking you up, and we're going to have some really big news coming up on the program today and some really big guests. And at this point, we're not at liberty to divulge them. How you doing, Mouse?
I feel like Kevin Hart in Jumanji when he's like the 6'3" fridge, and he gets into the game and he's Mouse, the little backpack guy.
Yeah, that's you. He's been called Mouse right out of the gate here today. I don't think it's going to stick.
I don't.
Going to stick with you as long as that it's stuck with Connor Bedard.
All right.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Amazing.
That's
Yours?
good. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. We're trying to, before we get to, well, we're not going to mention who the guests are today, so hang on with that. And before we get to the quick six show topics, here's what was awesome about my weekend. And I can't believe that it's been just 2 days since we were all together. We come in here, and it's like a family of squirrels on meth. He did this. She said that. This happened. This happened. We don't accomplish anything.
Nothing.
But it's like a bunch of kids. It's summer camp, all excited to see each other, right?
That's right.
And Bob's your uncle. So, yeah, golf yesterday. You see that I'm wearing this special bunny hug today. It's okay to be not okay. This is from my good friend Brady Leavold, former Swift Current Bronco, Kelowna Rocket, Norfolk Admiral, who is in recovery just like me. And I was on his podcast last night, Hockey to Hell and Back. I'm just loving being back with the hockey guys. Never leaving again. It just feels so good. And shout out to him. Just look up. It's the Puck Support Foundation. Hockey guys helping out other hockey guys that are in trouble. And girls, if they need it. Golfed at Deer Valley.
Yep.
And I'll just say this. I had more good shots than bad.
Wow.
It's progress.
You've turned a corner. And golf is fun,
I'm actually
right?
looking forward to it.
I think, was that in your column when you said it's amazing how being good at golf and being stress-free are linked together?
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Well, what I do know is when you golf bad, the stress level is extremely high.
Oh, yeah.
So I know those things are linked.
Just weird because it takes, for the most part, all I can do my whole life just to keep a saddle on my issues daily. And then I got to think about all these things golfing. I'll just say this. My brother-in-law told me, won the city championship last year, right? He's no Rudy Poo. He knows golf. Jamie.
Yep.
He goes, listen, don't get up there with your checklist and keep your shoulder up and your head down and your feet square and the club. Get up there and hit it. He goes, don't take practice swings. You don't do a checklist with your practice swing. So just get up there and hit it. It's made all the difference in the world.
Wow.
Good advice, too.
Great advice.
Just get up there and hit it. And I'm like, is that what you do? We're not talking about me. Yeah, so anyways, it was a fun weekend and all that. And let's go with the quick six show topics. Please, Director Jordan, because that's why they all came here. I was so distracted this morning. You know what I wrote down here? Number one, weekend NHL turnovers.
Whoops.
I meant leftovers. So, yeah, Connor McDavid hit 100 points on Saturday night and the world went nuts. What were you saying, Ryan? Was it technical producer Ryan, Rocco here saying that the NHL is trying to suppress this in some way? What was it? I wasn't really paying attention. What was it? It was Clark was saying it, that they're not making a big deal out of it. That was from Clark. I mean, I saw it everywhere Saturday night when McDavid hit 100.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
They had a puck with 100 on it. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So I don't know. Congratulations, Connor. Maybe they're just going to wait and see how high they can go. I mean, reading the NHL's PR page this morning, they weren't even talking about Sunday's games. There were only 2 games. It was all about tonight. Here's what can happen tonight. The Montreal Canadiens only need a point to clinch and eliminate Calgary. Everybody's looking forward to tonight. There's 9 games. And then Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, with a win tonight. Who they got? We got Colorado tonight. Can clinch the division. Their 3rd time in 5 years. It's insane.
Extremely. Like,
what's the math? 3 out of 5. I'm not good on that.
No.
60%.
3 out of 5 is 60%.
Yeah, 60% of their existence, they've won the damn division.
For me, growing up, the big expansion happened when Nashville and Columbus came into the league. Those teams still haven't won divisions. I mean, Nashville's done pretty good. Columbus, they've had some, but not like this.
Yeah.
This just has blown everything out of the water. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to everybody over there.
I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Larry in Medicine Hat writes in, says, when do you have time to write a column? Usually Sunday morning, but I have my phone. I used to carry around back in the day a little notepad, and every time something ticked in my mind, I would write it down. Now I just put it in the note portion of my phone, and that my column accumulates all week, right? And then I just write it on the weekend. It's not as hard as you think, Larry. And secondly, a lot of people tinker with cars. A lot of guys golf for a hobby. Mine's writing. It's not a job for me. It's fun. So there. And Bob's your uncle. Too many times? Is that too much? I can't get enough of it.
Not yet. It's close, though. We're on the line.
From John Schmidt, he says, the more hockey talk, the better. John, the Habs fan. Well, then you've come to the right place. Because the Stanley Cup playoffs are, well, they're not upon us, but they're close. We're running into this time now where some teams are done and some have made up games to make up. Like the Flames, they're going to be eliminated tonight. What's the point of playing the last 5? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I guess the guys you got your sponsorships, you got all of that, but it's mucky.
A little bit.
It's mucky in the NHL.
Well, you come down to these games where they don't matter, and you're like wondering, why are we playing these games, and do we want to risk our guys getting hurt, certain teams, and...
Yeah, but you got to get those sponsorship dollars.
For sure.
That's a fact.
It's true. It's the business, the broadcast, the sponsorship, all of it.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, the Flames are still alive. You keep telling yourself that, Jeff. I watched Sports Center. I'm not a dummy. Stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. The Flames have to win all 5 of their last remaining games, and Montreal has to lose like 3. I saw it. Again, the magic number's like, what? They're done. But you can keep clinging to that if you want. Moving on to point 2. Tocchet and Torts are out in Arizona and Columbus. We talk about teams that really didn't miss any games. Right? So they made the decision. So I talked to the Coyotes people, and the situation there is, from what I understand, literally mutual. It's very rarely mutual. In this case, it was mutual. How many times have I said it's not going great?
No.
In the Valley, okay? With a franchise, and Tocchet probably deserves better. He's got an almost 500 record in his time there with 4 seasons. I think it's like 131, 135, and 3 or something like that. Pretty damn good with a team that's been hot garbage for a decade. And he's like, this ain't for me anymore. Whereas with Columbus, I don't know if you saw the comments from the GM's Jarmo there. He said, we talked and we agreed it's time to move on. It's not as mutual in Columbus as it is in Arizona. That's my long way of saying it.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. And is Tortorella maybe a guy who can go into Arizona? I know in Phoenix, they need to have a culture change, right? You need to get this attitude of success and winning, and somebody who can go down there and really change the program. A good head coach can go a long way to do that. And for Tortorella in Columbus, I think it's time. Like with coaches like that, he's very firm. He's very old school. You got to earn my respect, but once you have it, that type of thing, and we're going to be hard on players. And he had success. He got him out of the first round. He's got that team. He's a winning record. He brought a lot of success there. But there's a shelf life. No matter how much success you have when you're an old school coach, there's a shelf life. And it's usually 5 to 6 years. This was 6 seasons for Tortorella.
It's time.
So now he's going to go somewhere else. And when he goes somewhere else, you should know it's going to be 5 to 6 years there, and then he'll wear out his welcome. That's how the old school guys are. So it's time for Tortorella.
The natural question is, where do they both land? Do they switch places? Does Tocchet go to Columbus? Does Torts go to Arizona? Who gets a job first? I think Tocchet would be more like he's very, very, very well thought of, obviously, and I think that he's not going to be out of work long. And it's not that Torts isn't well thought of, but he comes with a reputation, as you said, an old school guy. Is that what you want? So that's what people will be watching going into the summertime here. By the way, I have a text message come in. Prairie Mobile text line from Sean in Vancouver. He says, the lady secretly ordered me an RP Show bunny hug, and it arrived Friday. Very comfortable and wearing it around Vancouver with pride.
Awesome.
And Bob's your uncle.
That's great.
Sean, and send us a pic, Sean. Send us a pic or it didn't happen. And thank your lovely lady for ordering that bunny hug from rodpedersenshop.com. See what a great start to the week it is?
Amazing.
Spending a lot of time on hockey here. I'll just put up the poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center is, who is your Hart Trophy winner for the 2020-21 season? I have not tweeted it yet, Clark. I apologize, but I think you have it up on Facebook. Matthews, McDavid, Sidney Crosby, or other, and Connor's leading with 82%. It's not a hard decision, I don't think. We're all voting for Connor McDavid, are we not?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. So, is there a need to tweet it? Point 3 that I can settle down in, spend some time in here for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. In the warm-up here, Justin Dunk reports that the province of British Columbia has not cleared the CFL return to play. Now, if you go read it at 3downnation.com, and I've had it sent to me like 40 times, and I appreciate it, guys, but to me, it isn't breaking news. We talked about it last week. BC's top doctor, Dr. Bonnie Henry, on March 5th said, by this summer, BC could be living a post-pandemic life. And everybody went nuts in BC. And a lot of CFL fans, too. And then a week ago today, she said no large crowds in Vancouver till next winter. And that was met with crickets. Crickets. Nobody wants to hear that. So the point of Dunk's article was that, hey, if you watched the TSN draft on Tuesday night, David Naylor reported and Farhan Lalji confirmed or agreed that all 6 provinces with CFL teams have approved return-to-play protocols, and Justin Dunk reporting, no, they haven't. BC hasn't. The point of the article was more so that TSN was wrong or misleading. The news was not that I don't think that BC hasn't approved it. I mean, it was the news. But you see where I'm going with this? So that's why everywhere I go, and I mean everywhere, it's CFL's playing August 5th, right? Like everywhere. On the straight, Lynch. And I'm just now, sure. I talked to Dunk this morning. I said, I'm tired of reporting this stuff because I'm starting to look like a negative troll, and I'm just reporting what I see, what's right in front of everybody's face. And it feels like the CFL leaders are trying to mislead you or distract you with the actual news. I'm kind of out on it. I've been biting my tongue for the last few weeks on this. So where are you on? What's this breaking news from Justin Dunk? Which it is, but the breaking news is that TSN told you otherwise. That's the news to me.
Yeah, we've all been misled before, right?
Yeah.
And when it's something that you want, and you're a CFL fan, we know John Lynch is the biggest Rider fan of them all.
Yeah.
When you hear that, your brain triggers these things that blocks everything else out, and you only want to hear that they're coming back. So you're like, they're coming back. This is so exciting. They're coming back. It's like a parent when you're saying, well, are we going to go to Disneyland? We might go. We might. We're still thinking about it. We might go. The kid only hears, we're going to Disneyland, and starts telling everybody. And the parent's trying to let him down easy. You got to be realistic. Probably not playing, and this news from BC says, look, we're not all on the same page. There's a lot more work that needs to be done. So,
and Ontario's worse.
So
I'm just like, what am I missing here?
And they've got 3 teams.
And by the way, a little furthermore, it's been reported for months, mostly by us and Dunk and Arash to a degree, that the CFL leaders can't agree on where to even go with this. Some want to keep the CFL as it is and add the Schooners if they can, but be damned with the XFL. Others want to go full-on merger with the XFL because that will save the league. And I did say to Dunk this morning, I just feel like they're going to fight themselves into the ground. I'm not telling any tales out of school here because I've been saying it on this show for months. And you had a good point about that where the XFL fits into all this. I said, would you say this on the air? You said, absolutely, I'll say it.
Well, I mean, I don't think The Rock's coming to demolish the CFL, but it reminds me of like the ancient times, right? They're coming up to the gate, the XFL, to storm the castle, but then it's like, wait a second, guys, do you hear that? And meanwhile, they're fighting in the castle, killing each other. So the XFL can just sit back, let them kill each other, and then walk in, step over dead bodies, grab the gold, grab the food, grab all the supplies, and take over with no war at all, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, look, in Canada, we got to stop fighting each other. And this includes the media, it includes the personnel, it includes players. Stop fighting each other about what matters, what doesn't, and let's start working together to save this thing, or at least send a note to the guys that are waiting at the outsides of the gate and say, here's a proposal, because we don't want to have a big war here. It's not going to be good for anybody.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're at war, i.e. they can't agree, and the XFL is just going to walk in and pick up the pieces. Hey, Rocco and Clark, I texted you a photo of Sean in Vancouver. A swarthy dude, I might. He sent me a picture of himself.
Awesome.
In the bunny hug in Vancouver that his lady got him over the weekend. I thought it was Mother's... Never mind. Point 4, Medina Spirit tests positive for steroids. How about this one? My brother, who's in the horse world, told me last week, he's like, oh, Bobby Baffert's in a lot of trouble for horse doping, for doping with a horse. I said, I don't know. I just bet on it. I don't follow this stuff. All of a sudden, boom, it comes out on the weekend that the horse that won the Kentucky Derby tested positive for steroids. I'm like, what did the horse say about this afterwards? Did the horse say, I had no idea what I was putting in my body? He's denied all culpability. The horse, Medina Spirit. Well, you know where my mind immediately went? Where did Soup and Sandwich? Does this move up in the... Did I get some money here?
Soup and Sandwich moving on up. Looks like good day. So that's, for me, that's the question where my mind went, right? Because they've officially changed the results. So what about all those people who cashed out with all their winnings? Like, if
I know you got to give it back.
If I won $100,000, there's no way you're knocking on my door and I'm giving it back. I probably spent it already.
And Bob Baffert can put the money back in. Did you see how many millions were wagered? It was like $80 million was wagered on the Kentucky Derby. The last I saw, it might have even gone up more just ahead of race time. Integrity, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's important. And Bob Baffert, who was Barney Big Nuts around Churchill Downs that day, not so big nuts anymore. And last 2 quick points. The Blue Jays had dropped 2 or 3, but at Houston on the weekend. But dang, they were exciting. And they're still, they're 4th in the American League East, but they're hanging in. And they still don't have George Springer anywhere close to 100%. Point 6, big news coming down today. How much can we say about that, Moose? Oh. Not much. You don't have to wait much longer, okay? You don't have to wait much longer. And the guys said they have the photo. This is Sean in Vancouver, a live look in his living room. Look at that stud.
Isn't that great?
He's got the RP Show bunny hug on. He's got his rider hat on. He's got the RP Show in the background. He's watching on Game Plus TV, carried by TELUS Optic Television in British Columbia. That's awesome. Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate it. Let's break. And the first of our special guests will join us right after this. Are we ready to go with him? Okay. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. We'll return in a moment. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.